This is ANN News Brief.
Sudan's West Darfur province has faced protracted tribal clashes that have now forced more than 11,000 persons to flee into neighboring Chad in the last month. United Nations Refugee Agency said on Tuesday clashes between Arabs and non-Arabs erupted late in December in Jenena town, 12 miles from the border with Chad. At least 3 dozen persons, including women and children, were killed and many wounded. UNHCR says the clashes have displaced an estimated 46,000 inside the country. The agency says many of them were already internally displaced persons. The attacks in West Darfur have caused people to turn schools, mosques and other buildings into Jenena into temporary refuge. Sudan's transitional government is facing a challenge to end rebellions that have plagued the country for decades in areas like Darfur. Mali's General Madu Haya Sanogo has been released on bail on Tuesday. He is a general that overthrew the country's president 8 years ago. He has been awaiting trial on charges that he got 21 soldiers killed after a failed counter-coup in 2012. Relatives of victims whose corpses were discovered in a mass grave have been yearning for justice for a long time. But the government of Mali says Sanogo's trial could foment trouble, especially now that the military is on edge. Sanogo and other defendants in the case have received 2 adjournments in the trial, the first late 2016 and earlier this month. No new date has been scheduled. Sanogo's lawyer, Sheikh Omar Konare, says his client is free to move around freely without restrictions under the terms of his bail. Amnesty International says Malian authorities have justified the liberal bail conditions for Sanogo on, quote, consolidating social cohesion and concord within the army, end quote. Stay with us to be right back.
Whether in your house, at your office, on your phone or online, we are there. We have the facts behind the headlines. We cut to the chase with the news you really need. We cover every angle. We are the bigger, better news network. We are African News Network. ANN. Watch ANN News on MITV from a truly African spirit.
African countries began preparing for coronavirus since it hit China and before it started to spread. South African officials are even saying the country is ready if the disease should spread to Africa's coasts. There has been no reported case of the disease anywhere in Africa, but more than 100 persons have died from it in China. To ensure it won't be caught unprepared, South Africa has begun preparations, especially at Africa's busiest airport, Johannesburg's Oliver Tambo International Airport, that received more than 20 million travelers in 2018. Direct flights between South Africa and China take place at the Johannesburg airport. News of the coronavirus outbreak has affected the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, where stocks have slumped. The decline is directly tied to the China's trade importance to South Africa, of whom it is the biggest trading partner. That is ANN News Brief at 11. For details on these and other breaking stories, visit our website, annafrica.news. Conversation continues on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at ANN Africa TV. I am Lucy Adeyemi.